will be explaining it. What should be your step to do it going forward. So Bharti, over to you. You can share your screen and explain. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So I will open the UAT environment and I will show how to create the users. This is the link of IAM Keycloak. So this is the list where we can create the users. You can go to the users tab and there is a tab called view all users and add user and unlock user. So you can view the users here. And also if you want to add the user, you can click on this add user button and you can give particular username here. For example, I'm showing I'm giving username and email here. And the first name is like I have given username, email, and first name and last name. And I'm saving this user. So the user has been created. So now I'm going to the credentials and I'm giving the password for those username. Okay. Yeah. After giving the password and password confirmation, you have to set this temporary to off. Whenever you are setting the temporary as on, the password will work only at first time. It won't work for permanent purpose. So for you, if you want the permanent username and password thing, you can set temporary off, set password. After creating the user, after creating the password, if you want to reset the password, you can reset the password here by deleting the password. Delete credentials. And now you can again give another password. Likewise, you can create the user and passwords here. After creating the user and password, coming to the groups, if you have created any groups here, for example, I created one new group called branch manager. Okay. My user is dummy123. So I'm mapping the group to this dummy123 user. Okay. So this is the branch manager. Click on this branch manager and we are clicking on join. We join into the branch manager group. So after joining the group, now we are opening the portals. And checking the username and password has been created or not. I created this username and password and login. I have mapped with group called branch manager. So we are seeing the role called branch manager. So this user is mapped with the particular branch manager. So we can see the list view here, allocated, review, ready to sanction history buckets. And coming to, if you want to group multiple groups for the single user, you can
sorry to interrupt, Bharti. Yes, we can go for multiple groups as well, but just to reiterate what Bharti has explained till now. So let's imagine that as of now, this dummy123 is a branch manager, and let's say he left the company and some another branch manager joins. So what you have to do is you have to delete this dummy 123 person from your user creation, and you have to create user for new branch manager. So but the process to do it, first of all, you have to create a user for it. The similar way Bharti created for dummy want to create the Kuliza.com. So you can create a user for it, and once it's created, in the credential tab, move to the credential tab, Bharti. In the credential tab, you can enter the password for the new user that you have created. And once the user is created, then you have to decide, like, it's a branch manager, business officer, or it can be any it can be at any position. So to map that, we have to create a group. So first of all, we have to create a group. So the group creation was there. If it's there, these all are group that has already been created. If we want to create a new group, we will click on this new button, and we can create any group. Say it be dummy, or you can say branch manager, business officer, or credit approval, anyone. So once this group is created, what you have to do is you have to map that user to this group. So this group is basically designation of that user. So from here we can see this is a dummy. So to map it, we just have to click on that user and join. If you go through this group uh, tab, and we just have to click on it and click on join. Now this user has been mapped to a dummy group. This group is basically the designation of the user. So we can go to the portal to see to log into this user again. See, now it has been assigned to two groups. One is branch manager, one is dummy. So there might be a possibility that single user is have responsibility of branch manager as well of credit approval. So then he will be assigned to two groups. If Puli is on the call, he must be aware of that, because for the new test ID, Puli has been assigned to multiple roles, multiple groups. So that's how it can be done. If there is a single user, it should be assigned to multiple designation, multiple roles. So this is it is for group and users. Yep, over to you, Bharti. Any queries as of now? Any doubts? Anyone? There's a lot of silence.
Not yet, Karan. I don't think.
Okay. So if it's clear to everyone till now, shall we proceed? Okay.
Yeah.
There can be two scenarios. No one is understanding anything, or everything is clear to everyone. So, let's assume.
So for
Yeah, please say that.
Admin group join. So the left one is the currently is the current group where the user is enrolled, and the right one is when we want to add another group, right? For
Exactly.
the user.
Exactly.
The
left one, this branch manager and dummy, is the group that the user, this dummy 123@kuliza.com, has been enrolled. And this is the groups that is there in the system. You can create more groups as well by going through this group tab on the left hand side. That's all.
Okay, and the group we can edit each group's each group's permission. Permission is where for each group.
Sorry, Satya, I didn't catch your point actually. What has been like? Could you please repeat?
Sorry.
I didn't get your point, Satya. Could you please repeat?
For each group, there is permission, different permission for each group, right?
Yes, yes.
And where can we add or remove or edit any permission for a particular group?
Okay, so basically this IAM or the key flow that we are looking here right now is only for the groups and the role creation. The permission and everything else is something that we do at in the configuration. So could you please throw some light on that, Bharti?
Yeah, actually, if you can see here, in the there are branch manager and dummy role. There are two roles
Mhm.
here. So in the branch manager, we already configured this list view. For
Mhm.
example, there are buckets like allocated, review, ready to sanction, history. Okay, but coming to the dummy, we
Mhm.
created just a group, but we
Correct.
doesn't created any list view here.
Correct.
You can't see any buckets here. This can be
Mhm.
done from our Kuliza system, like in our configuration, we can do that listing view. So
Oh,
only
so
purpose of the key clock is only for creating the users and roles and groups to login purpose. That's it.
okay. So for permission, it needs to be done from your side. We need to request it for you to you.
Yes, Setya. As of now,
Correct.
it's provision like this only because there are different permission for different groups, right?
Mhm.
So without giving proper training and proper knowledge to the team, it would be difficult to provide those access.
Okay. What about assigning user to a particular branch? Like for example, business
Yes.
officer user can only access data for one branch only, like 1001.
Yeah. Yeah. For that, there's a master actually. Piyush, you explained it yesterday, or what was it? Piyush, you there?
Yes, yes. So
Uh,
what? Yes,
yeah, please. You understood the question of Setya, right?
yes, yes. So the master that I was displaying the CEO masters yesterday, but there are different masters. There's also a branch manager master where we can see the mapping of branch manager with branch code. So all the users which are there in that particular branch code will go to that particular branch manager, and you can update that masters from the API using Postman.
So
Okay.
basically, the mapping of the user with the branch has been done by the master itself. So that master can be updated from the postman. So I am not sure we are going to give you that access as well. That is something I have to check actually, because that is really critical. If anything will be deleted from that master, it will disturb all the system. So okay, let me check Satya, if that access has to be provided to the BAV team or not. If yes, I'll get back to you and we will explain you the master how to update it and what
Okay.
the master.
Okay, please do.
Okay. Okay.
So are there any questions from this key clock or user creation?
Bharti,
Huh.
how do we create hierarchy in this?
If you can see here in the admin, you have seeing area manager, BA coordinator, branch manager, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can create like this.
Okay, anyway, this
In the
group
admin, you can click on the admin.
creation,
Huh.
anyway, this group creation should be done from our end, right? Because this group creation, every group has different parts to do.
Yeah, group creation
So
will be groups and roles are done by our side. Only user creation they will done.
user creation can be done.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have question. Can
Yeah,
I?
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. If user already create, then that password has been used for example, for 2 months, 60 days. Is there any password periodically to change that password from its user?
Now, so basically, there's no periodically change of the password. It's just of
Because we have the policy, password policy, every 60 days,
okay. Mhm.
user must be change their password. in our system. To avoid some user use, for example, I have resigned, then user hand over to someone, then the resigned people can reuse that user account with the old password. To avoid that kind, we should have a periodically change password by system.
Understood. So, Bharti, do you want to extend this credential leak set?
Huh. Actually, what happened is we didn't tested this thing, but this is already there in our system. Like we can update the password, and we can also keep like how many days we want or how many hours or minutes we want to use this password.
So, what will happen if we put it 12 days? What will happen after 12 days?
After 12 days, it will ask you like this is a wrong password or update your password.
Okay. So, user will be able to update it from the portal, or he has to come to Keycloak to update the password. Keycloak, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So, yeah. Basically, there we can put the number of days after which the password will expire. But I guess after that, the user has to take help of the IT team to update the password. And what IT team needs to do is, could you please show the step to reset password again, about if you want to change any password? Don't not this. We just created that dummy at the 123. No, if we want to change the password of it, come
Yeah.
from where it's starting. Come from where it's starting.
So in the
So yeah,
credentials,
basically, first of all, user needs to select the IT team needs to select the user from the left hand side. Once that is selected, they are the users. You can see it. So there's the user dummy 123@kuliza.com. Just say that this person password need to reset, because we have already put a limit that after 12 days it will he has to reset his password. He won't be able to use the last password. So he will come to the IT person, seek the team help of the IT team. Here, the IT person need to follow this step. By clicking on users, we need to click on the user to which password needs to be set. And here, he has to click on the tab credential. So here's the whole old password. That is something he has to delete. And then enter the new password. Then need to change the temporary off and set password.
So it means is user we must set by manual. Our requirement actually by global password lifetime should be, for example, 60 days. Any user can be change their password, for example, after day 50, after 50 days, but maximum lifetime of password 60 days. That one we require.
Yes, that is something we can change from here. Credential reset, you can see at the bottom. Here, you just need to select the update password and expires in 260 hours to days. After 60 days, the password will expire automatically.
So it means every create new password, new user account, we should set this one. Otherwise, password will be valid for permanent, right?
For permanent, yes. Once we are creating a new user, we need to do this for the new user. This step we have to follow.
Yeah, I don't know. From my side, actually, I'm not agree with that concept, but I don't know, Pak Setia or other.
So, could you please repeat your exact requirement? I would see what we can do for that.
We have password lifetime maximum, normally 90 days maximum in our application, like BRNet and also in Hermes system.
Okay.
So it's user
So
every
what
90 days.
what happens after 90 days?
After 90 days, if user does not change their password, that user account unable to log in. And
So
then they
he
must
seek help of
request to IT to reset that user password. but before 90 days,
Mhm.
there is email reminder to user or there is notification in their application, then they need to change their password. That's normally 10
Okay.
days before expire, for example, there is notification alert coming on application or through email. For example, in our Active Directory, we send email to that user that their password will be expired by, for example, next week. If tomorrow they does not change the password, that reminder also keep sending to them.
Okay. Okay. And the user has access to change the password by themselves as well.
By themselves. But if that user, for example, is not aware regarding the change password, or for example, they are resigned already, but they did not do password changing, either also, then that user account will be expired, unable to log in. That's the objective target actually.
Okay, I got your point. What is written over there in reset actions email, Bharti? The question mark?
This question mark.
The below one.
So this one actually credential reset for expire setting 12 days, 60 days. From my side, we did not require this kind of feature actually.
So what you wanted, it should be automatically for all the users.
Yes, global setting. We should have, for example, every 90 days password should be changed. If not, the administrator IT should helping them to reset their password.
Change the password. Got your point. So yeah, Sir, I made a note of it. I'll get back to you on this. I need to check with the computer team. I'll get back to you on this for sure.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I noted it. I noted down. Yeah, I'll get back to you on this. Anything else? Any other suggestions, feedback, or anything else you want us to explain? Anyone?
Others request, can we export this user application itself to like Excel file, so we know which one active account and which one idle account, unused account for certain period?
Could you please repeat again? Sorry. What do we need actually?
Okay, here we can see the list of user in Binarta, right? Can you see that? How to find that one in here? User list.
Okay. Could you please show user list, Bharti?
Okay. For all. Yeah, okay. Can we export this one and we know which user is active, which user is inactive for 30 days, up to 30 days. For example, already 1 month this account is not used. So we know also which one is last login yesterday, and then we know this one already 30 days is not used.
What's your point? I'm afraid as of now, I don't think so that's provisional. But yeah, I'll get back to you on this. I made a note of it. So first of all, we just need. Can we export it to Excel, Bharti?
Export it to Excel. No,
We can't, no?
no, we can't.
Okay. Okay. And which user is active or inactive? Okay. So by active or inactive, your definition is active users should be if a user has not been active from 30 days, then it's considered to be inactive, right?
Yeah, normally actually by every month application user, we are do validation actually. But if HR team have missed two requests to disable some account, we also able to verify whether that account already inactive.
Got your point. I guess someone else also raised this query yesterday. Okay, cool. I'll get back to you on this. I made a note of it.
Yeah. Because we do the similar activity in other application also.
Understood. I just need to confirm it from team. Okay. Okay. Apart from these 2 points, the password change and the active and active user.
Just all from my side. I think other team, my Binarta team. Silakan.
Yeah, so Karan,
That's okay.
what is the purpose of creating groups here if we cannot modify the permissions and also assigning users without being able to assign them to specific branches?
Yes, basically, Satya, that's what Bharti explained. We showed you that this is how we are creating the groups, but yes, the groups is something that has already been created in the system, and you can only create the user and assign the user to the group because for each and group there are different permission, right? And that is being handled from our end as of now. Maybe in the long run, we'll give all the access to the BAV for this as well. But
Okay.
as of now, the master to assign it to the branch and the permission for all the users that is being handled by the Kuliza team. Because
Okay.
with the time being, there will be a lot of branches. Right? As of now, there are just 2 branches, so there will be a lot of work. So I think we should do that work. So as of now, it's being up to Kuliza. For the BAV team, BAV can create the users and assign it to any of the group that is already been configured as of now. That's the
And
only
also
thing.
for the current existing users already created, they all for especially for branch business officer, they already assigned to their respective branches.
Yes, yes. For 1006 and Sukhwarja and Solo, right? For both of these branches, we got the list of the business officer and the branch manager and everyone else that is there assigned to the branch. So that's already been done. For single branch, there are 3 business officers. So in total, there are 6 business officers that has been assigned to their respective branches. You want to see that master as well? We can show you.
So okay, so for what happened if we add a new branch officer and branch manager? How do we add it to assign it to a branch? Through the API?
Yes, through the API. I guess you can throw some light on it.
Yes. So if you want to change like the user, the branch code with the branch manager, right? Right.
No, basically what Chaitya is trying to say,
Yes.
let's say there's a new business officer and and he joined at the solo branch. So we can create the user from here. We can assign it to the group business officer. But how can we assign it to the solo branch? How can BAV team?
Okay, that we have to do with masters only.
So is there any way for the BAV team to you just mentioned by the postman, right?
Yes, yes.
So how can they?
Okay, so for the current mapping, we need to request from API, and if we want to add new ones, we also need to use the API.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Like
Okay,
through the,
understood.
yes.
Sorry, Pius. If there is, for example, similar with Setia question, there is new branch manager to replace the old one. And we don't know, yeah, the old branch manager have some issue. They are having fraud if we replace that user account directly through API, then that person who has replaced the old branch manager will not able to track till which transaction having fraud with that account. That's I think will be have issue. We should have a different user account for each branch manager even in the same branch. So for example, Rhaegar as branch manager in Solo and having fraud, then replaced by Setia as new employee in Solo also. My account will be disabled, then Setia will be added as branch manager in Solo. That's my understanding. That similar things we are doing in BRNet. Correct me if I'm not wrong.
Yes, so basically, what a change I can see there is, let's say, Rhaegar is the branch manager, and he left, and Setya joined. So we would what we were doing is we were changing the name or something, the user ID of that person, because there would be a case that is pending at that branch manager end, right? So I guess Bharti would be able to explain it better.
Yeah, Karan.
You
So for
understood the scenario,
masters,
right?
so can you please explain a bit?
Basically, what they're trying to ask, if one branch manager left and another one joined, so what should be the procedure for it? Let's say for a solo branch.
So we can create another branch, right, in the masters.
Can we do it in here right now so you can show to us?
Yes, yes. We can. Uh, just give me a second. Bharti, how can we do it?
So for example, if you want in the masters, I can show in the masters, or otherwise can show here.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, let's say as of now, Aries is the branch manager of the solo branch, right?
Okay.
So now we Aries Satya replaces the Aries, or any dummy user you can use, just create a dummy 123.
Yeah.
That user replaces the Aries for solo branch. So what should be the procedure for it?
So we can just rename, or we can just add a new user for that.
Okay. Can we see both the procedures now?
Yeah, sure. So for this dummy 123, replacing of this dummy 123, we need to give any other name, right?
First of all, I wanted to know for which branch this dummy 123 has been mapped as of now.
I mapped with branch manager and with dummy.
You mapped with branch manager. Which branch? Solo branch or supervisor branch or what? We haven't did anything of that respect, right? Because that's done in the master.
Correct. That is done in the masters.
Oh, understood.
The branch codes and the branch names all will come from the masters only. That won't be done here.
Understood. Just a second.
So can I share my screen and show like how to update the masters?
Yeah, please, please.
So this we have done in local like a dev server. So for example, 1 minute.
Yes. What I wanted is uh,
Yes.
you can replace any one of the branch managers and understood. Like, see, Aris was a branch manager of solo branch. Now we just created that dummy 123. So the user creation is understood, I guess, for everyone. What after
Yeah.
that? That dummy 123 is replacing the Aris that is the branch manager of the solo branch. So what should be the process or step for it? If you will go step by step, I guess that would be better to understand.
So first we have to, like, we will give the slug name. So this is the slug for branch manager. So we have to enter the slug name in this get master data API. So it will in the response it will give all the mappings that is there with the branch code and branch manager. So for example, like in this branch code 1022, branch manager has been changed. So this was the question, right, Karan?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. So
So
any of the branch, we are just changing the branch manager.
yeah. So
Like
for
there's a
example,
new branch manager that joins. Yeah.
yeah. For example, here we have changed the this branch manager to something another branch manager. So what we have to do is, so
Put dummy 123@gmail.com. That's
yes,
we just get it.
we can copy the this whole array of branch code and branch manager, and there is one another API, update master API. So here you can give the slug name, the same slug name, branch manager, and in the data list you have to paste this array. And here after giving the authorization token, so if you want to change anything, so for example this to, for example, dummy one,
Dummy
okay,
123.
so we can hit the send button and it will show master has been updated. And now so the data has been updated, and now if we again take the masters, so we will see here the data has been updated. So for the tracking part, what we are going to include is, like, we are going to include one another like another parameter here which is like who is updating it, and we will create one another API with the history, like who has updated which master at what time, and what things are updated. So this is it.
I guess that's clear to me. Oh, yep. Sridhar, any doubts on this or?
My understanding based on this activity is only like to update directly, like typo. Is it correct or not? So some user, the name is Regar becomes Siregar, like that. We are updating that one directly. But our request actually, if there is some changing, Regar as the old one, we need to disable account. Then branch manager Regar will be changed by Setia. How to do that process in our system? That's my question.
Okay.
Okay, Karen, let me try explaining in Indonesia. So kayaknya Pak, untuk disable di yang tadi di CMS tadi web, kalau untuk ngeganti yang siapa yang jadi branch manager barunya di sini.
Oh,
So
jadi
Karen or Pius, so every time we want to update on even if only one branch manager is changed, we need to copy the whole thing into the whole string here, the whole JSON here, and then paste it into the update master data.
Yes.
I can already imagine the hassle that we have to get through every time we want to update something, because especially for business officer and branch manager, we have a lot of changes in the field. Like within 2 or 3 months, sometimes they want us to change it, to update it in the system. And if every time we have to copy the current one and then paste it to the new one, there's a lot of room for error here.
Yes.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, if we want to disable an account, we can do that from the other one, the website, the web admin. Is that correct?
Yes, we can delete the that user from there directly.
And if we delete the user without updating here, what happened?
Then it will not log in the first. Like we have to also change here the, like for example, earlier it was Rhaegar, and it was
Hmm.
and if we deleted the Rhaegar and created new one Setya,
Hmm.
but in the masters, so Rhaegar will be there. For example, here the Rhaegar is there, branch manager. So we have to also change here also, and then the whole process will be there.
Yeah. Okay. So
All
imagine
the
if
cases.
we fail to copy the whole branch, like we left out 2 or 3 branches, and then we call the update master data, then 2 or 3 branch will be missing. Is that correct?
Can you repeat once again?
So if we like you call this first, right? This function to get the master data for branch manager.
Yes.
Then later we have to copy the whole data parameter string from beginning the open bracket to the end bracket, right?
Yes.
And what happened if we do not copy the whole thing? Like we left out 2 or 3 branches at the bottom. We fail to scroll all the way to the bottom to copy the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we go to the update master data and found out that something is not, it's not working, it's not successful. Then we need to go back here again. So I can only imagine that the process will be very painful for IT team.
Yeah.
Not to mention the authorization token every time we want to update it.
Yes.
Yes, basically that's that's our system is designed. Basically, if we need to change any master, no, in our master itself, if we don't talk about the postman, if we need to change any master, and if any new branch or anything else, if we had to change, we have to delete the old master, update the Excel again. So that's how it's provisioned in our system only. So if you need to change any master, there is no option to update it. You have to again copy paste it, the whole data that is there.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I'm just
the new master is being uploaded in the system.
yeah, I'm just wondering why we can modify, configure this master data from the web admin that we see just now, because it's exclusively for IT team as well, right? And I see an overlap in the people who's going to use this API and the ones that who's going to use the user management from before.
I understood your point, Setya, but
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah.
We'll take what we can get from now, but for the next iteration of development, I think we will need to.
Yeah, I understood, and I think that it's kind of painful to do all the stuff again from the very starting. So what we can do is we'll try to optimize it, and I made a note of it as well, and we'll see going forward how how best we can optimize this process.
Yeah, we're gonna knock this down first, and then we'll discuss it later. That's okay.
Thank you, Setya, because we have around 40 to 50 people change every week. Every week.
Oh, okay, is this so?
Okay.
Retention rate is too low. Okay, so just a second, just update master to postman. Okay. Okay, Setya, Regar, thank you so much. I made a note of 4 points, and I'll get back to you on them. We'll see how best we can optimize the whole process. So, okay. Anything else you want to show for the key clock, Bharti?
Sorry, Karan?
That was not for you, Setya. Actually, I was referring to Bharti.
Okay.
Just to understand what else is required to explain.
We have shown all the creations, right? That's it for now, I think.
Okay, that's done.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Setya, as of now, what we have seen is the user creation that can be done through key clock, and the group. If there's any, like, how to map it with the group, and how to update that user with the branch code itself. So that is something we have understood as of now. And going forward, I understood the pain point as well, that updating the master is kind of painful. So that is something we'll try to optimize it and we'll get back to you.
Mhm.
And there is just two more points that Regar mentioned, that the password needs to be reset after every 90 days, and it should be done automatically, and the user should be getting the email when the password was expiring. So that is something I'll check with the team. And the list of the users should be exported to the Excel, where we can check if the user is active or inactive, and based on the 30 days of the time period. So that is something I'll check with the team and get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
So yeah, apart from it, that was the agenda of the key cloak session that we had today to explain to the BAV team. So going forward, now I guess Jay or Abhishek will take it up, and they'll explain the infra stuff. What can be explained from them. So Jay, Abhishek, over to you.
Okay.
Okay, so hello everyone. Jitendra. Okay,
Hi.
so before we start, again, we already have a document for this one, but just wanted to understand, like, is everyone from infra team or will be wasting time for other people?
Sorry.
Is everyone from infra team only?
Yeah, Paregar is our infra manager actually.
Okay, okay. So then, okay, the question I had was, all the people on the call are from infra team or people are from business team only?
It's
Also,
because Jay is asking because it's a waste of time for all the other people apart from infra team.
Okay, here actually not only infra team, we are joined from IT support application team also join.
okay. Okay, so
Okay.
in that case, from an infra point of view, Paregar, what all things you want to put on priority, then we'll take in this session. Because from our point of view, there were few points, but if I remember correctly, you already have container monitoring and all in place, correct?
Yeah, we have monitoring tools to ensure whether the system stop or usage is high or not. We can monitor through that site 24/7.
Correct. And you have already added that into the production environment also.
Production not yet. Production already done, but
Okay,
NFT
production.
not. NFT not. We does not
Okay, NFT
install.
is fine. NFT it's okay because even if it goes down, it doesn't impact anyone. It is more for the testing only.
Yep.
So that is fine.
Yeah, but for that monitoring, like my question, yeah, whether that user already inactive or not, we are not able to monitor on that one. We only able to monitor that database up or down, CPU usage of container is high or medium, like that.
Okay, so what you want to see is, like, if I understand your question correctly, you want to see if a user is inactive and the user is trying to log in, we should get an alert. Correct?
Totally not able to log in, then they must contact IT to enable that account again if the password has been expired. That's the current condition.
Okay, no, that will see, that is anyways from IAM point of view, what
Mm.
Bharti has shown you right now, that
Yeah.
that they have already shown you, right? Other than that, from a monitoring point of view, what else you are looking for?
The other monitoring, I think, is enough. I'm not sure whether from application side, whether what kind of monitoring they are require. Dari
Okay.
Pasetia, dari teman-teman, ada nggak monitoring yang diinginkan dari sisi aplikasi?
Monitoring apa ya biasanya, Pak?
Kalau contohnya kan monitoring yang biasanya kan contoh di sisi Hermes atau di sisi aplikasi Infor atau aplikasi intinya kalau traffic contohnya kan itu bisa kita lihat, we can see the traffic through that Google Cloud actually, but we are not able to see who is the online user like that.
Okay, I think it's related to Pamiki's question from yesterday.
Yeah.
We would like audit needs to know the activities of who is doing what in the system. There needs to be a record of that.
Okay.
Right, right.
Those things are already there. Current Piyush, we have the audit logs, right? For the users, what they did, what not. Not sure.
Piyush?
Audit logs in means we have the simple logs, right?
The user activity logs.
For example, branch manager Regar, before resign, Regar has been changed the portfolio for this user. Regar changed the total amount. For example, we got the log, what kind of activity for Regar for the last 30 days. That's the thing, audit request actually.
Okay, let me rephrase it for Piyush. Piyush, what they are looking for is a activity track for a user. What all activity the user who was logged in performed.
I don't think like it is there.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I'm also not sure. Yesterday, we got that point from Mike, and I made a note of it.
Okay.
We can take it over like just after this call to understand it better.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad, guys. I thought this was there already. So, other than that, Parigar, anything you have from the monitoring point of view? Because that is more of an audit point of view, what I understand.
Mhm.
What I was asking is more towards monitoring, like infrastructure, what you guys already doing right now. And how about logs? You know where to look for logs?
I don't think so.
Okay, Piyush.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing your screen and show where to look for the logs
Okay.
in
Yes.
the Google console? Okay, so you will have to go from start and go from home page.
So from here, can I start?
Yes, yes.
So here we need to first select the the project in which we want to check the logs. For example, this is for the production and this is for the UAT. So I'm selecting the UAT. Now we need to enter in this project and we have to go to the workloads. So in workloads, there are several pods are there. So for the workflow engine, like mainly all the logs were there in the workflow engine pod. So we can go to this particular pod and we can see here is the logs button. So here we can see all the logs. So for example, like for example, this API has been called workbench product. So here we can see all the logs.
So we can see here also which branch manager has been added and disabled.
No, not here.
Yeah, that's the thing we are required.
Like
Okay.
here we can see, for example, what the particular, like for example, this is the role dummy123@kuliza.com. So here we can see that like what he is doing. this user is like doing some tasks. So here we can see it, but this is not in the like not for the particular user. Here it will come for all the users. So for example, this admin@kuliza.com also it will come here only.
Yeah, we need the sample log later on. You are providing how to read that log also based on our requirement.
Okay.
Because audits always looking that one every year, and external audit also have a question similar things also.
Okay.
And if possible, we can filter the log based on the user, specific user. For example, I want to take a log for specific user or specific branch.
Okay. Currently, that is not supported because this is like application logs where the code itself, based on the level of logging what we enable, right? The logs will be printed into the system, or you can say into this particular log page. So if we set it to error, only logs will only come into the system when there is a error message coming in. But at the same time, if we set it to info, that means any activity performed by anyone for a particular controller or particular method called, whatever is there, whatever is logged into the system will be printed over there, over here in the logs.
Yeah, we understand this log is actually created by GCP directly based on that machine that you are already create, that
Correct.
log trigger. This is not application log. So we are require later on
Correct.
application
What you
log.
need, what you're looking for is audit log and not the Catalina.out.log, right?
Yeah, not this kind of log actually.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So this is one part. Second part, what like again from an infra point of view, what we wanted to show was this is one way to read the logs. Second way for us to read the logs is if the container is up and running at any point of time, you can, if you have Kubernetes properties configured on your system or on a particular server, you can run Kubernetes command, kubectl commands, and see the logs by yourself. Mm, try
Okay.
running, Piyush?
Yeah, should I show here like uh, in the terminal, right?
In the terminal, yes.
Yes. Okay. So from here we can select the get YAML, and here terminal will open. So there is one command kubectl get pods. Here we can see the all the pods that are running, and for the particular, like for example, for the if you want to check for this particular pod, then we can type this command kubectl logs minus f and the pod name. So here we will get all the logs that are there present in the particular pod.
So these are the same logs what you were looking at in the GUI, Parigal.
Yeah, understand. My question, we are going to request you to how to do auto scale. So every night at, for example, 10 p.m. Indonesian time, all this machine will be auto scale to 0, the Kubernetes itself.
Okay.
Then every morning time
Hmm.
at, for example, 5 a.m., that one will be auto scale to be running up as similar with our current condition in production. That
Uh, so we want
that's
to reuse the pods in production also, is it?
Yeah, so for example, this is because on UAT, we did not use at night time, for example. For production, later on we can modify if we already accept by operation team. But for development and also for UAT, we can power off or do minimize resource on night time and then power on again, auto scale again at morning by scheduler. How to do that one in here?
Okay. So understand this way. You can reduce the number of pods, but remember, it is not the pods what you're paying for. What you're paying for is nodes.
Yeah, they're not
So
we are
if you
do.
remove the nodes, all
Mhm,
the configuration or the containers which were deployed will
mhm.
go away.
Wow. Normally we can set by 0, then while we schedule by 3 node, it will be automatically that configuration will be running up. That's we are doing in Sean team with CP. Every night
Okay.
and morning time, it was auto scale.
Okay.
So
So we
in
are setting the nodes equals
DLP
to zero in
different.
that. So we are setting up nodes equals to zero, is it?
Yes, not sequence to 0 at night time that we are doing in CP, and morning time it will be changed to 3 normal.
Okay. Because
And every Friday night it will be 0. Then at Monday morning it will be 3 again, up to 3.
okay, the reason why we don't prefer that, because for the applications what we have deployed, right, we have some dependencies on, for example, the first container that should start is key clock, like the IAM container. Because if before that any particular application starts, that will not start properly. So if we go with that approach, we need to like again we need to come up with a process or a solution for this one. But currently we don't prefer doing that. We change it to zero. But as you said, like it is required from your end. We'll look into it and we'll get back to you on approach how we can do this. Because currently it is like, as I said, there is a sequence in which the system should start. But the way Kubernetes works is if I increase the number of nodes from 0 to 3, and the particular running containers which are supposed to come up will not come up in a sequence the way they should come in. So I'll have to look into it and I'll get back to you on this one. Like, how can we make sure that the containers which are coming up are coming in a sequence?
So
Not
my
without
question.
it.
So currently the DLP, so all the pod need to configure again, start from beginning if there is some issue with the node. Is it right? So for example,
Hmm.
today the node suddenly down, become 0.
Hmm.
All configuration will be gone.
No, 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 not the configuration. As I said, not the configuration. It is more of a sequence. So understand this way. Let's say today all the nodes become zero, for example, right? And then all the containers, all the services are coming up parallelly. If you change it to node number of nodes equals to 3. Now, as there is no priority defined for the containers in the sequence, right? If let's say studio or workflow comes up first before IAM comes in, they will not start. So that is the problem we have. So let me go back and figure out if we can set the sequencing of the containers or the services coming up in an automated way. So if that can be done, then it will solve our problem, and we should be able to scale it to 0 and then again increase it to that particular value.
Okay, it means we must also make a practice to do that one in our UAT or no, development is different, yeah, because our
Yeah,
development is
development is EC2, so we
traditional,
have to.
normal one, yeah.
Yes,
So
correct. So that one is
in
mandatory as well.
UAT we should have practice later on how to
Correct.
shut down, then power on again. What kind of step we are required to do that service become running up,
Okay.
enable the all that service step by step. I think that one documentation not yet shared. We need that
No,
documentation.
step-by-step documentation is already shared with user. But if you want, I can share it again with you.
No, how to power on that service once the node down become 0, for example. That one not yet
Okay,
shared.
no, that one is not shared because
Yeah,
we haven't created, because we never had an like, we don't have a requirement where we are saying that okay, we will make it to 0 and then bring it up again in an
yeah,
automated way, because from scratch when we set up, the steps are same. After that, if we have to redeploy, the steps are still the same. It's just one command change what we need to do, and the deployment can be done very easily. It is more of where you asked, right, that on a daily basis, if the number of nodes are going to 0, how do we change it? How do we make sure that the systems are coming up in a sequence? That document we don't have.
Gimana, Dok? Sudah siap?
Sorry.
yeah. So actually that's my concern from infra side, yeah, because
Okay.
later on if there is any issue on server DLP database is okay actually, because database only stop and start again. But from the application machine that we are running on Kubernetes, once the node already cluster already running up, we still require to do some step in application mode. That step not yet share confirm. Your team will share later on, and we need to do that one in practically.
Okay. Understood. So that we can try it in the NFT environment itself. While the team is doing the configuration, we can try for that one.
Yeah.
The NFT environment. So very
And
good.
yeah, and then also we need the scheduler if in future we are require also, because the cost of infra for this cloud environment quite expensive. Right now already 70,
Yes.
going to 70 million rupiah per month. I'm not sure whether management accept that machine. This is not yet in production, yeah. Once in production, I don't know, become 100 million rupiah, and then management say, oh, what the profit that we are using this DLP if that infrastructure is so expensive. Okay.
Understood. Okay. Anything else, Parega, you have for us?
From my side, it was enough. I'm not sure whether my team have question. Silakan, teman-teman.
No, not yet from me.
Okay, finish. I think our training has been done. Day 2. There is no more training.
No.
Any other material?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sridhar, I guess we are done with the agenda of today's training as well. And for the technical, we just had 2 sessions, the one that happened yesterday and today's session. So I guess we are done with the technical training. I would suggest if you guys look through it and just let us know if there is anything else in which you want us to explain or give a training, so we can have one more session as well. And one more thing is we'll be sharing that the 2 APIs, that you can that get master update variable. So that is something with all the variable IDs and everything else. We'll be sharing it with you by this weekend. So you can have hands-on that and let us know if you need any further clarification on that. We'll be more than happy to guide or take a session anytime, whenever required.
Okay.
So yes, if there's Nothing, anything for today.
Okay, Karan.
Uh,
So
we can wrap up.
yeah, just to make clarify and checklist. So we have share user administration in application, right? How to
Yes.
create user, how to disable, and how to delete or disable that user. We also
Yes.
have share how to create new brands, how to disable some brands if that brands has been closed or merged to another brands.
Mm-hmm.
Already
That
share?
that is something we can do with the postman. So no,
Okay.
yeah, that is something we already explained you. But yeah, we'll be sharing the credential for the key cloak and that API that we have created, or the variables for the like just now just slug Piyush showed, right? Those slug for the branch manager, we'll be sharing everything in an Excel or in a document with you by the end of this week.
Okay,
So you
Karan.
can have hands-on on it, and just let us know if you think that there is some further clarification required in any of the aspects.
Okay, Karan.
Right.